All right, guys, here we are for part two. Um, as promised, here we're inside Out of the Wind, and I got some of my Thor artwork behind me. So yeah, I wanted to talk about decentralization, something that is frankly mandatory for me, and it's one of the big problems that we have at Thor. I don't think Matt and Dave have quite grasped the concept yet. Um, it's a very centralized company, and Thor has been building centralized, SAMO institutional solutions, right? Now, I did think that that was an excellent strategy. There was really an opportunity to be a Trojan horse, and basically, and there still exists a possibility if somehow I don't know I can provide a solution and utility for Thor tokens, we may still be able to do this, but it's up to Matt and David because Matt and David own 100% of the company at this point in time, and 50 million out of 57 million tokens. So that's pretty fucking centralized, if you ask me, and that's what I make art to resist against. This is my representation of a centralized monetary system, with Thor coming to bring his hammer and redistribute the situation. So that's what I'd like to see for Thor. As I mentioned before, I do have 3 new friends. Smartest guys I've ever met, period. Honestly, no joke. I've joined this new team that actually has an extensive vision for building digital identity solutions on the blockchain. So, considering I was just laid off from Thor on Thursday, and despite my greatest efforts to form a partnership with Matt and Dave, so I can continue pitching for Thor and designing for Thor and doing everything for Thor and more, I wanted a slightly new role, but they wouldn't have it. I tried to actually integrate what was always the vision for Thor, which was to be the bridge from the current monetary system into the blockchain crypto future, right? So that's where I personally always believed that Thor would get there, and it hasn't died in me yet. But when I heard yesterday that the centralized controllers of Thor were going to go pursue a SaaS model, leaving a token behind, I was pretty fucking upset, as you can imagine. So, and as are you if you're a token holder, right? Because then there's no utility for Thor. So, I try to give them the new information I have. I was presented with a genius vision for how to incorporate the Thor token into a benefits ecosystem that would be de-risked from the associations that crypto currently has. So I'm not going to get into that because it's not even my intellectual property. But I've been enlightened. I do currently see a very different crypto future than I had previously perceived, and I don't know. I really tried. I actually was literally this close to being able to close the deal to incorporate 7 years of the deepest blockchain infrastructure I've ever witnessed into Thor. We almost had that taken care of, frankly, because these guys loved the Thor brand, and I was trying to sell them on, hey, guess what? Thor is a better brand than what you guys have going. I think with what you guys want to do, we could have, gone really far. I think Thor fits in the human brain a little bit like how Apple fits in the human brain. So it has a lot of potential for that brand, but I didn't get my way with Matt and David. It was pretty hard, lack of consideration at all, which was shocking to me. So, not to say that Matt and Dave didn't, I'm going to give them some grace for a minute, obviously then kind of antagonistic right now overall, but they did try really hard. They worked really hard. David tried to do, well, he liked to talk about doing well by doing good. I don't know what good he did. They did work hard. They formed some partnerships, but they don't have the vision for the decentralized future, clearly. Can't even share equity in their company or tokens for that matter. So, pretty disappointing. And if you're a token holder, I imagine this is hard news to hear. not financial advice. I'm holding my Thor tokens. I'm trying to get hold of them. I'm trying to be diplomatic with Matt and Dave. You are invited to send me 50 million Thor tokens, which I can put into utility with my new team. Already got light confirmation that we could do that. It's a pretty exciting opportunity for these guys who have not ICO'd, who have not done a money grab, who've just been quietly working brilliantly for years. And guess what they're missing, guys? They're missing designs. They just have wireframes for their infrastructure, and I think they need someone who can tell a story in layman's terms to people, and also someone who can design a nice interface for a very comprehensive digital identity system. A small piece of which I think could be Thor, depending on what Matt and Dave want to do. If they want to give Thor utility, potentially there could be quite a lot of utility in this ecosystem that these guys are building that I will be joining with. So as of today, and I'm not going to tell you the name of this company yet. We're going to lay low for a little bit. I can just tell you that Matt and Dave didn't want to do anything with blockchain or crypto or digital identity solution, even though that was the original vision. I would like to make Thor, I think the brand is supposed to be about giving benefits to people who work in the gig economy, right? Which is going to be over half of America by 2021. So let me ask, do you think that if we could get 50 million people who are freelancers in the gig economy getting benefits from Thor, like let's just say that's like a pretty sizable number of what, the number of people in the gig economy would be. Do you think we could have more users than Bitcoin? All right, I don't want to go too much further, not my intellectual property with these guys, but I've been told how to do that in layman's terms. I'm going to study the tech further. There's a lot we can do with Thor token, given its unique qualities, precisely because it's never been on an exchange. So I know that's been like the catch-22 with Thor, when exchange. I wanted to see it on exchanges sooner. It didn't get there, so there's a huge opportunity for Thor to actually, based on what I'm hearing from the experts, that we could actually do something pretty powerful with that. They have a model for how to utilize Thor in a way that completely de-risks it from the scrutiny and risk associated with being a security in the eyes of the SEC. So wouldn't you all like to see that? I think it might be better than an exchange if we could make it happen. So, I'd like to happen. I made this brand. I value it a lot. It means a lot to me. I'm holding my tokens. Come on, Matt, Dave. Pull your heads out of your ass and try to give the Thor token some utility, and don't just go run off, try to build a SaaS business, abandoning the future, which is clearly going to be on the blockchain. Like, why give up now? So that's where I'm at. So going forward, even very shortly, I'll be going to study the documentation of what I believe may well be a very successful project building a digital identity ecosystem, and I'm hoping that there's already an invite to bring Thor into that. So that's my update number 2. So I don't know if there's anything else to say. I'm thrilled, considering I was laid off on Thursday. I no longer have any rights or ownership in Thor. I'm very fortunate to have my next gig lined up doing the thing that I always want to do anyways. So I always saw Thor as the Trojan horse, as the opportunity to build the other products that I wanted to build in a decentralized ecosystem. So it's a real blessing for me to now be not a slave to Matt and Dave anymore. I always wanted my sovereignty. They refused to give it, and that's why we're here. They could not decouple themselves from. They couldn't decentralize Thor. I mean, what else is there? Give other people incentives to carry the brand further. So I don't know what to tell you. If Thor can't decentralize, then it's not worth anything. But if it can, then we can make it worth quite a lot. So no financial advice. Thor. Go Thor. Save Thor. But in the meantime, I'm going to go design the broader ecosystem for digital identity. If you kind of know what I mean. Maybe some of you do. But all right, guys, this video got a little too long. 10 minutes. Pray for Thor.